Good morning, boys and girls. I was just wanting to check in with you on our reading strategies that we're going to be using this week. So, the reading strategies that we're using this week are text structures in nonfiction text. So, just a quick reminder, this is what your assignment looks like on the Google Slides, but we are going to be using different text structures each day. The first one that you're going to be working with is chronological or sequential order. So when you are working with chronological or sequential order, it's important to remember those signal words that help you know whether or not it's the next step or the next part or the next sequence. So the purpose of this is to tell an order of, excuse me, how something happens or which events occur in a text. So this could be like a list of events happening in history. This could be a list of events of what's going to happen like in a person's day. It could be a list of like historical years over a long period of time. It could be steps in a process, like how to make something or steps of how to put something together. It can be several things. But the clue words that you're looking for are words like first, next, then, last, the years, numbers that are given. Those are big hints when it's chronological order. So these slides are actually pretty easy. They give you the detail, the text, and then the next slide is you using that text structure to put those things into an organizer. So essentially it's the same thing as what we've done before. Again, a lot of this is review, but text structures is definitely something that never goes away and is really actually helpful pretty much through your whole life. You're going to use things like chronological order or problem and solution and cause and effect and description, comparing and contrasting. Those things don't ever go away. So this first one, you can see it says using the highlighting tool, highlight the passage as you read. Baseball was first played in England in the mid 1700s. It evolved from other stick and ball games being played at the time. English colonists brought the game with them to their new life in America by the 1830s. So notice we moved on to the next date. So when we go here, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, spots for details. And in this case, we're going to want to find then 6 details in the text. In life, you're not always going to have this perfect little organizer. You're going to be asked to do your own organizer, but this is really nice for you. When you have the compare and contrast one, you're going to be looking for the signal words. Let's see, compare and contrast. Compare and contrast is where we're showing similarities and differences. That's another name for it. Between two things or more. Words like however, on the other hand, similarly, like, and unlike are all signal words for compare and contrast. So it's important to remember that this text is really small. So I wanted to remind you guys, if you hit Control plus, nope, just kidding, Control minus is how it's working on my screen for some reason. Your Chromebooks, you can hit that, take the screen out, and it'll take all the other things away. I don't have that on my computer, but I know you guys do. Looks like a square. Sorry. And such. So Control minus, and you can make it a little bigger, and then that way it's a little more readable. And then you can just put it back to normal in order to get the name. You'll notice that this has a little bubble. All you're going to do is put the letter of whichever one you're going to choose. After you read and figure out your answer, you double click and then you can write your answer into that bubble. So again, use those signal words to help you do the next part, which is comparing and contrasting. You're going to put the differences out here and then the similarities in this middle one here. So remember that you just double click. So this is where we would put our similarities. So I might write that just to be sure, or you could even just use the word both. That way you know that this is the category where I'm going to write both. So go through the text, find those signal words. I would highlight. You can use your highlighting tool. There's a highlighting tool I know on here. Just have to find it. I believe, let's see, no. Nope, yeah, you have to click on the text, just kidding. So then you can click on the highlighting tool that way. So let's just play with it a little bit. And then you can add your notes even down here if you want to. You can add notes and then go to the next slide and add them here. So each one, the next one I believe is problem and solution. So those signal words for problem and solution is a problem solution provides a problem and describes how it can be solved. A lot of people get problem and solution and cause and effect mixed up. Be careful. Remember that problem and solution is actually giving a problem and a solution. Cause and effect is just a cause and effect. It doesn't necessarily give a solution to the problem. When you're giving a cause, it's just telling you the effects of something. Problem solution word, you're looking for literally the word problem, solution. The word resolution comes up quite a bit. So those are those signal words that you're looking for there. So you'll read that cutting an onion can be extremely unpleasant experience. In fact, it was so awful that it often results in eyes that sting like bees. But that's not the solution yet. So that's all part of a problem. So you want to make sure you're super detailed in what the problem is. Don't just put onions is the problem. That's not the problem. That's just the subject of this article or this piece of text. So make sure you're specific when you're answering and you're writing in these text bubbles. These are all pretty easy, to be honest. This is a cause and effect. Again, it's about onions. I just strongly dislike onions, so I find this interesting. But anyway, it talks about the causes of why onions do what they do and their effects. And then this one is about onions again, and it's simply just giving you information. So we call that description. So when we're looking at description, we're just looking at, and it's not on this one, but we're looking at just describing, giving facts about something, giving characteristics, features, or examples. So these are the different text structures that you're going to work with this week. I want to remind you that text structures are something that are super easy to work with nonfiction text. You can use this in your own reading on Epic when you go to read nonfiction books. I want to challenge you to when you get these all done each day, or maybe even if you practice like my kids in my class are doing slides 3 and 4 on one day, and then go on Epic and read and find where, another book that uses that same text structure and write about it in your reading journals. So have fun with that and let us know if you have any questions.